let's dive into these cycles a little bit more. So let's go black hole.
Yep.
And let's go. Then we should do black holes, and then we'll do a cycle. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Black holes in the beginning, or we could say the beginning of the cycle, yes,
Yeah.
are, I don't know whether we could do it that way, maybe we could. Yeah, let's draw this up a little bit more, just really quickly. Okay, so non-existent to begin with, but they are the beginning. Hard to explain that. Let's try and wrap our heads around that. Okay, yeah, that's pretty much it. So we could go 4, although there's 2. Okay, but 4 lots, so 2 lots of each make 4. Okay. So if you have a final black hole, which could be the end, but could also be the beginning, yeah? And stars don't exist in the beginning, but then to take the lead. So each one gets a head start. And let's say, where could we start? This is a cycle. We live in a cycle, basically. From one ratio to the other, to the other, to the other, to the other. But yet each one seems to be hidden in the beginning. Depends on when you rise up in this. So if humanity, and then it's not just rising up, it's awareness to that rising up. So if humanity came around here, but didn't become aware until here, depends when you look up and start to apply these instruments. So the mind is limited.
Yes.
And what that means is that based on what you see, again, also limited sight.
Yeah.
Which, if you then say inner eye, inside your mind, the quantum seems to be quite unlimited, but your mind, forefront, is quite limited to what it will believe, and it's not perfect, and the sight is limited. So you can't see gases in the environment. And when you breathe in and out, you know that there's something going on. Yes? It's almost like an invisible. You're breathing in an invisible and letting go of an invisible. Only until you play an instrument or you learn something from these that you go inside a bubble somewhere, seal it off, you're breathing in and out in there, and then you watching, being an observer, someone would die in there. Then this leaves you to figure out, why did that person die? Well, because the gases exchanged, but you couldn't see it. So again, it gives you a limited mind in that aspect that you can't see it. So the sight is limited to what you can see. So gases being one, which would fall on the outside of this. And it's a very big spectrum, both sides, and down and up, but it will get too complicated. So gases, you can then understand. So when you look out into space, you perceive it as being empty, all apart from these, let's say, condensed material you can begin to see. But the gap between planet and star appears to be invisible. But again, it's not invisible. There's something there, but you can't see it. So then you can say dark energy. Label it whatever you want. So we could say with magnetism, for example. You can't see it. You can see the magnet, yes, but you can't see the force, the invisible. You can't feel the magnetism. But yet, when you apply an instrument, being the metal, to it, then you begin to see it. You begin to see something's going on there.
And feel a bit when you pull them.
You can get the force there, yes. But again, you can't see what that force is. You can only observe it by applying tools to see it. Now, if I was to take a, I don't know, let's say the spectrum of a magnetism, and I can take a certain type of computer or equipment and I can apply this instrument to it, I can then begin to see a magnetic field and magnetic variations in different things. And there you are. Boom. Now you begin to see it, understand it. But again, with your sight, you can't see it. Now, let's just quickly imagine that you could see all of these things. So let's say you could see the gases in the atmosphere. You could see the matter, let's say. I want to call it matter. Let's say if you could see dark energy, for example. Let's say if you could see that, would you see starlight?
No.
Okay, would you see starlight if you could see the air in the atmosphere?
No. We would
If
be
you could
covered
see
by.
magnetism,
Okay.
would you be able to see through the magnetism to see a star?
I guess not.
So when you understand that there's a purpose behind it, that if you could see all of these things already on top of what you see, would you see anything else? Okay, let's say if you could see the air, would you be able to see this?
No, it
The
would be
units,
like
the
walking
fridge,
in soup, wouldn't it?
the cupboard.
Yeah.
The only way you can really understand this is if you turn the place murky. Or we could say water, but again, and then we keep filling the water with particles that are of all different ratios. That would you be able to see the other end of the? No, you wouldn't.
No.
And therefore, would you ever look? Would you ever go anywhere? Or would you stay here?
Yeah, you wouldn't move much, would you? You would stay in a small area.
So this would be a lot going on, a lot distorting your vision. And therefore, the mind would be so overwhelmed. And then how's the mind going to try and perceive all of that? It's already complicated as it is. But when you begin to remove these things, now you'll say you removed them. No, a higher force removed these within your structure for a particular reason. If you could see everything, there would be no point having eyes. If you could hear every single sound that was around and available, would there be any point having ears? Well, you might as well then just rely on your sense.
Okay.
And again, it's quite, you'd be bumping into everything. You could literally fall into a star, black hole. Again, another thing, if you could see it. Again, interesting, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of things are limited to help you see. Isn't that strange?
Yeah.
And there again, what is true sight then? Is true sight seeing it all? What a noise. What a noise. So again, you would be quite limited. Would you then ever venture out into space? You wouldn't, because you wouldn't really perceive it as existing, would you? Would you really then try and how would you fly aeroplanes? How would you drive cars?
Yeah, you wouldn't see, would you?
How would you travel the earth? So the things that are very relevant to you, you can see. Water, can you see it?
Yeah.
Do you need water?
Yeah.
Can you see food?
Yeah.
Do you need it?
Yeah.
It's not saying that what you can't see is not needed, because you also do need to know this stuff. But again, it's like cards on a deck. So what you perceive is a very limited bandwidth. And then the mind is also limited. And that basically is when you were existing and then became aware of your existence, which could be at this ratio here. And then when you began to understand, look up, go a lot more deeper, then you become aware of something. When you become aware, it depends on where you're at. How much is plus and how much is minus. So again, this one could be a lot smaller right now. Black holes could appear to be less, stars could appear to be more. And again, everything appears that the universe is expanding, but Einstein was trying to calculate how this was all. Both of them were correct. Although the construct of what they're saying has been invisible. So both of them are correct, but both of them are also equally wrong. But wrong and right is not a part of it. They were on the right lines. Yes, the universe appears to be expanding, but that is deception. But then if you were to look at Andromeda, and you were then to look at the Milky Way being where we're at, this does not appear to be moving away. Now, what happens if another galaxy, and another galaxy that is out of visual range, is moving towards this? This would give an illusion of expansion. However, you would have to come all the way away from the whole of the universe, which is perspective. You'd have to change your perspective, and again, limited mind, limited being able to see something based on your perspective at the current moment. You come into the cycle here, and you could be tempted to expect that it's going to be like this and come up with all types of theories to suit that belief system of what, okay, then it shifts. It's meant to, but people like furniture in a particular place. So if you were to come away from the what is deemed the observable universe, can you go outside of the observable universe? That's another video, complete another time. At the moment, you're made up of it, so you are in it. If you go outside of it, it's technically like not existing, well, or existing in a ratio that's outside the construct. So let's just say we reach the outer edges and we look back at the universe. And if we could see the entirety of the universe, not just a little tiny speck of where we're at, and then our visual sight, our sight is limited to a certain amount of distance, and then beyond that, we can see no more. So another great technique to do is to take multiple mirrors either side, and it is to look through these mirrors, as I used to do as a kid. We have this mirrors. I was fascinated with mirrors. It gives the illusion the place seems a lot bigger, especially when you've got two either side, and it's like a dimension of dimensions, right? Over in the distance, even with light, it seems to dim out, and it seems to get rather small. Have you ever taken a telescope and looked through that? Very, very interesting. It's an interesting experiment to try. It's very interesting. I'm going to guess that no one has given that a go. Have a go with that. I will set this up for you and allow you to have a look. Then you tell me. Because seeing, is it really believing? Or is it believing? Or do you need an instrument to see, and that instrument you trust to reveal what you can't see? Because people usually say, seeing is believing. That's not true. It's an illusion. So let's say that our sight bracket is limited to this much. Okay, not saying that the universe is this size, by the way. But let's say you could go beyond this, in argument's sake. Could you see the universe getting smaller and smaller, and this becoming smaller over time? So again, if you were there, you might see it like this. Then after X amount of years, you might see it doing this. So again, atmospheres are an interesting thing. When you turn solids into gases, your atmosphere begins to expand. Now that's not a bad thing per se, but if you have a thin layer of ozone already over, okay, a skin. I'll go on to this, please. So let's say you have a skin of ozone at 30%, give or take, okay? Not saying that this is accurate. This skin here is ozone and an abundance of hydrogen in this one. Let's just say, we'll just keep it simple. So we got O3 at 30%. Now, let's say we begin to convert lots more, let's say, solids into gases. Well, we know that this is then going to expand. So let's say then that so would that be 80, 90, 100? No. So let's say 70, is it?
70 and 30.
Problem is that this type of mathematics doesn't work for this equation, because I'm now going to add more gases into the hydrogen mix from solids. I'm going to convert some, but release more. So again, limited mind finds it very hard to believe that this is a possibility, right? Because my numbers are going to now start to go over 100% in a very weird way. But this number is going to shrink. And then you try and process this, right? So this is where I don't think maths work in this instant. So I don't know how you calculate this using mathematics, but let's give it a go. So let's then say that 70% is atmospheric gas, yes?
Yeah.
Then what's your core made out of in this percentage then? So let's say that this stuff we're going to convert here into gas.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to burn it somehow and release it, and we're going to exchange, but we're going to up the ratio of gases inside here. So 70 then becomes 150.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? Percent. If ozone is the last layer, for example, let's pretend in this one that it is. From 70 to 150, utilizing this goes down. Because this is going to expand bigger, yes? And as it gets bigger, what's going to happen to the ozone? It's going to get a lot thinner.
Yeah.
And then what happens if we keep on going with that? Eventually, this gets down to what? 1% thickness, let's say. What happens when these gases inside from this solid to gas expand above a ratio?
Then there will be holes in the ozone.
Then the 30% was okay to cover it at 70% to give you that ratio of 100%.
Mm-hmm.
But now we're adding more solids and we're converting those into gases. So if we take coal, for example, yes, it's taken it from the environment. Okay, yes, lovely. Then there's been a lot of lightning, which is added to ozone. Wonderful. Hitting into the oxygen molecules. And when we begin to expand all of this and we begin to burn things that aren't usually burnt, and we release these into gases, no matter whether it's sand or anything else, just think of a weird and wonderful way that we could do that. And we begin to expand this layer, the core gets a little smaller, which inevitably it will, and then 1%, and then we expand past that. We then go to 200%. Although this is not mathematics, I'm not calculating this perfectly. This then goes to what? 0.1%, argument's sake. Until eventually it's not enough to cover. Now, what does that do to any life form on the planet? Or does it expose you to solar radiation?
Yeah, it does.
Which then could start to cause salt water to begin to bubble up a little bit more, and then expands the gas ratio even further, and then ozone gas becomes even thinner, letting in even more, and then even thinner it goes. And then, interesting, really. It was at 30% thickness, then it goes down to 1% thickness, then 0.1% thickness, again, not enough to cover. And all of that by solids to gas. So let's say if we go to another planet and we bring back some gases into Earth, and we start expanding this way. It's no different. You're expanding the gases that you have. What then begins to happen? Same process. And again, hard to believe it, right? Because limited mind. Have you seen this? But you can theorize that this is going to happen. That's an interesting thing. So let's take the universe as being the exact same, which I would say is more oblate spheroid, the whole thing of the universe. And let's say that we can't see a process happening because our minds can't see this stuff, and we haven't found a tool yet to identify what dark energy is, to be able to see it. You can just explain that it's there at the moment, but yet you can't see it. So is there a part of the theory missing? That black holes perhaps are not falling into each other due to gravity, but yet are gobbling in this dark energy in order to move, plus utilizing the stars as well. They just need a gentle oomph, and once they get going, they can then maneuver the stars around them and they're also gobbling in
Yeah.
this stuff that is we can't see it, and they're feeding off of this to fall into one another. Black holes learn how to depict or to break apart what stars have accumulated naturally. So stars in the beginning, there's neither black hole, neither stars, so then you could say gas.
Yeah.
So always in a 3, so I kept this one away just for this bit. So in between both these forces, we can say gas.
Yeah.
So now you've got the trio.
Yeah.
Stars take gas to solid. Black holes take solid. I think I spelled that right. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
you did.
Solid to gas.
Yeah.
Gas can be solid. Liquid, not
Yeah.
sure. QUID. Oh, we did that
Yeah,
wrong.
QUID. Yeah.
So again, we have the trio again.
Yeah.
And we should really say liquid there as well, but it doesn't really matter. Gases, liquid, solid, liquid, gas, solid, either or. You've always got the middle ground. These want to be separate. Keep their distance. They are binary, yes,
Yeah.
some, most, but they also like their space. Stars, we. You could say.
Yeah.
And black holes, by a byproduct, create stars, but indirectly. Both of them are indirect.
Yeah.
This will utilize the gas to then create solids. Solids become denser, denser, denser. The more denser the objects, this changes the way stars formate over evolution, which then create neutrinos. Neutrinos then, because of so much, you could say magnetism, you could say a lot of stuff is orbiting around, pressing down on the star. Rather than the star exploding for a brief second and then breathing in to create a black hole. Interesting. Black holes are a little bit more different. They are the reverse of a star, and they like to come together. As they begin to come together, they're sharing information. Stars share information externally. Black holes share information internally. So you could say that the stars are selfish and want to keep everything apart, yes? And black holes want to come together and are selfish, but they'll hold on to what they're devouring. So defuse is what they do. These ones Could you say infuse or just fuse?
Fuse, I would say fuse.
But both of them are passing information.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This star explodes, and my word, when they explode at close range, luckily humans haven't seen this yet,
Mm-hmm.
and the chances of you being hit by one from a distance is very slim. When stars explode, they explode in multiple directions. And each piece that explodes instantly freezes. You want to say that?
Yeah.
Or I should say it cools.
Yeah.
You could say dries. People would, wouldn't they?
Oh.
But again, let's say it freezes and it crystallizes.
Yeah.
And large shards, varying sizes, go off and out.
Yeah.
This is information.
Mm-hmm.
So a star that is in the distance that might be struggling with its fuel supply or its conversion ratio, if this comes close and combines into the star, the star has just learned information from interstellar debris, from another star's death.
Mm-hmm.
It can learn. You can learn from another human's death as to what was killing them, what was this, what was that, just based on bone records, remnants, yes? How they lived, what they did, how they gained power, what their knowledge was, based on their remnants. So the past, humans are not outside this rule at all. So looking back at ancients, and let's say they're not here to tell the story, but what they've left behind tells you a story of how they lived. It's like a glimpse into that. Stars do the same thing. But rather than the remnants staying on a planet, they send them out in multiple directions, and when the other stars collect this, it learns something. Now, if a star does something a little bit different to the other star and manages to go past, let's say, fusing to iron, then the next stars will begin to learn this. Throw it into your star and see what happens. You also need a couple little bits of traces of that. If you can take the periodic table beyond iron, throw it in your star. Don't be surprised, but you'll have to wait a long time until that star explodes. You'll notice that it'll start fusing the iron together, and then you'll get the next one out. This then changes the composition, but I want to give the star everything. And there's a reason behind that, because if you do give the star everything, and the black holes get hold of it, they know X amount of time that they can then begin working to diffuse this. Takes them a little bit of time, but they're quick learners. Stars from the gas erupt and explode so quickly that in the beginning, if you perceive that, if you were only to live in the beginning and you found these life forms, you found their remnants, they saw the beginning, they're going to tell you a tale that there was none of, they would never ever mention black holes, they would, even if they had the instruments to see it, they wouldn't be about yet. They wouldn't exist. Then you would find this piece of a remnant and be like, well, they must be wrong. Well, no, they weren't wrong. It's just they only lived for this long and then went extinct. So their ratio, what they managed to learn in the beginning, life forms living in the very, very beginning, but there was only a few speckles of stars. None of this was forged yet because there wasn't enough matter, dense objects that the stars had popped out and created to have created these yet. And then you would look at this and then you would be like, man, they said this, then they went extinct. There's no mention of these whatsoever. They had the tools though. Then that would then tell you from that remnant, this remnant, that they weren't there in the beginning. Then, let's just say that some life forms get here towards the end. They're going to see a multiple amount of black holes that are, and less galaxies, and the universe is observable if they could observe it. Again, you can't see it, so how would you know if it's expanding or coming together? Well, we look at other stars. Yes, but stars, you can't look at stars. Well, this galaxy is moving away. Yeah, can you see beyond?
No, you can't.
You're limited. Even your telescopes will limit you to how far you can see. Like I said, take two mirrors, big old light, and take your telescope and look into those mirrors. Again, at that current ratio, actually you want to start it off with a weak telescope and then build up with the strength. You'll notice something. your perception will shift more. Count how many you can see with your eyes. Count how many you can see with a weak type of, I don't know, stethoscope, whatever it's called. Old pirate ones.
Yeah.
Try that. And then try building your instruments up and up and up till the lenses get stronger and stronger. It brings more into your awareness, and you are only limited to what you can build at the moment. You can't see beyond that. Telescopes have a limit, unfortunately. They have a massive barriered limit. And most tools you will create will always have a limit.
Yeah.
There's a buffer zone to what they can see. Ship goes off around the horizon. Okay? Disappears with your eyes.
Yeah.
Take a telescope. Actually, we want to take a camera and zoom in. There it is.
Yeah.
Because you can only see this far away. Your eyes are limited to what you can see at a certain amount of distance. Oh, interesting, isn't it? Very interesting. And then people will start complaining about whether the Earth is curved or not. Your sight will bend with that. If light can bend around other stars and appear on the moon and eclipses and different things like that, best you believe your sight can do the same thing. And that is weird, isn't it, to think that?
Yeah.
Is it the light is bending around that star, or is your sight bending around it, or is it a bit of both? Reciprocal, right? So in the beginning, they will tell you a different story towards anyone in the end, yes? But you have to survive this whole entire cycle to see, and if you make it and you are able to recycle, but it's still not enough to prove it because you'll need to survive cycle 2. Then cycle 3. When you reach the end of cycle 4, that is when Pandora's box begins to open. You mean to tell me that this universe hasn't cooked up life forms yet that have survived this? 4 times plus. And then if you were to get among them all, let's say that there are life forms that have survived 4 cycles, and some have survived 5, some have survived 6. How many cycles has there been? Well, you would say, per the oldest life forms that have survived this many cycles. But then they will tell you, if I ask them, which I endeavour to, don't you worry. How many cycles has been before you rose up? We don't know that yet. We're still trying to figure that out. Yeah, I bet you are. I bet you are. What's your guess? We got no other life forms to put it on. Yes, because only a few make it this far. Only a few. And that's interesting. Well, what happened to them? We found their remnants, but what happened? Well, we saw in this that they're perhaps this, and this. Anyway, so that's really getting a bit too far, and all in good time. So these ones send information out in the physical. Some of it lands on other planets again, and if the star expands big enough, it might pull some of these in. Stars are hypocrites. Yes, let's worship them as gods. Okay, bit primitive, I understand that, but fine art. Admire it when the time is good. And humans ought to be hypocrites as well, because this is when they will pull down their idol of some god. You got to understand this. When times are good and you're basking in all of this wonderfulness and the star is really good to you, you'll worship. When the star begins to change and starts to do some things that might jeopardize your life, depending on where your mind has opened up to that yet, you'll swear it's the devil. This is destroying my planet. This is beginning to destroy my life. This is destroying my species. Why will it not continue on? Why is it pulling in all of this stuff? Why does it burn us? Fine art. Fine art. You want to stay basking around that and worship that. That's up to you. Again, appreciate the star for what it is, yes. Personally, running fleets of beings, if I was, I would teach them to make that star into a neutrino and give it the best gift that you've ever given it, ensuring that it will go on. But what that star has learnt, and when it becomes neutrino, multiple ways to make stars. Keep filling up Jupiter and find out. It will begin to, and then it will move. It will move. It will begin, and then depending on out of the star and Jupiter, which one's bigger, they will argue over center point. What happens if you make them both the same size? This is interesting, right? Because when you get to a certain level in species, and this gets more interesting. It's more fun, by the way, because you get to teach a lot more stuff. Why? What happens when you make two stars of equal size? Who's going to argue for that top spot? And then what gets flung out? What gets pulled in? How much more chaotic is that solar system, let's say? Interesting, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, so stars in the physical share the information in the physical.
Yeah.
Black holes do not. So they're more quantum. They are quantum mind. They keep things to themselves, but they share one another by merging together. And eventually, they will all eventually merge together until you're left with a particularly very monstrous sized black hole. But they've been sharing information. This one that's been able to defuse this stuff will tell this to share, to survive, the data of how to diffuse anything that goes beyond this point. Which one got the most information? Well, it doesn't really matter. They'll all come together and share this everything. Everything into this, and they share all of the information. The secrets are out everywhere. So even the black holes can then begin to tap into this information as well. When the star explodes and sends it in multiple directions, not only is it telling other stars, some of it is going into the black hole, and it is also telling the black hole. The black hole sits with this stuff, and it's like, the stuff that's mundane and it's very easy and it's worked out, you can tell. So if you had multiple black holes, and let's say we could bounce across the solar system, I endeavor to say that most beings that advance further than humanity are able to do so quite easily, jump from one black hole to another black hole. The test is, if they take a piece of this solar system and a piece of that solar system, and they throw it into this black hole, they'll notice the one that is closest with this information will devour that stuff very quickly. Oh, that was all done in a heartbeat. Now, what about this stuff? It doesn't know this stuff, and it throws it in it. The black hole will take a lot longer to devour that information. Why? What is this? I gotta take my time to unpick this stuff. Then, when it figures that, which it will, it just needs a little bit of time, but it will. Once it begins to pick that apart, the rest of it goes gone. Okay, right, that black hole took this long. This one took, hang on a minute. So these things have to learn that's why they merge together. So they're sharing information. Okay, what about this one? There's two in this one. Merged together. So that means that it can take the information of these and these. And what's more, it brought all of the cluster of stars that do this closer to this one. And I will give you these stars in exchange to learn your stars. They merge together, become one. And then you could say that that galaxy has now become one, two become one. Interesting, really, isn't it? And then they learn this information. And then any bits that fly into interstellar space, big explosion. The stars are open with their secrets, bit too open. But when they first got going, these weren't about. Everything wants to survive. So, in this way, everything wants to survive, yes? Nothing wants to die. It wants to be eternal, and there are multiple ways to do it. Stars want to become eternal, and black holes want to become eternal. So is it in their best interest that they create one another rather than try and destroy each other? Is it best information being given to the black holes, knowing that we get a head start, a bit like the hair, then to create these from stars, indirect or direct? That's the question, isn't it? Chicken or the egg? Chicken or the egg? Chicken or the egg?
Yeah.
Egg or the chicken? Again, or do they know something? Is this designed in order to ensure eternity?
Yeah.
Back and forth, back and forth. Yeah, sure, the cycles may differentiate, but the process baseline, when you go into cycle 2, you'll learn this, but you got to get through. Again, like I said, when your awareness comes here, this is one particular cycle, the learning journey starts, and then you're playing catch up from backwards, really, aren't you? You're trying to look backwards to understand forwards. And then when you survive this, and then let's say if we go from this way to this way, then from this way to this way, and then from this way to this way, that's then when you'll understand the cycle of beginning. If you survive the end, which there's no end and there is no beginning, there is just cycle, recycle, cycle, recycle, then you'll begin to understand that. So if you were to say from cycle 1, 2, 3 that way, and 4 perhaps, and you keep going, what you begin to learn is incredible. And then maybe I could just do a little bit of this as well, just make that look nice. Plants work things out, by the way, very quickly. Is it deliberate? Oh, that's beautiful. There you are, a nice little flower there for you. Nice little, oh, gorgeous. Lovely, and we can keep going with this. And anyway, but once you start learning here and filling in all of this, and then you begin to open up different parts, you begin to see more. Wonderful, the mind begins to open up. Now, again, you'll say that humans are not natural. The universe knows what it's doing. You're being created for a particular reason. Now you want to put this down to God's universe, up to you. Yes, there are gods. Yes, there is universe. By the way, there is a seen and an unseen. At the moment, you're in the seen. If you stay existing in the seen, that's nice. It's very nice. It's good. Both complement one another. So if we take this as the spectrum, yes, and the universe will only ever be able to natural, but again, it is natural for you to do it in a very unnatural way. God, so confusing to explain that. I can't seem to muster that into words. So let's say the universe will only ever get up to spectrum number 6. The black holes will understand spectrum 6 to diffuse, fuse, diffuse, fuse, diffuse, fuse. And you utilizing the energies of the universe, so we'll take a few stars, aim them together, take a load of glass, create lenses, we trap the heat, we utilize the back of the star, create more heat, and then we aim it towards another star while filling it up with more and more and more matter. And we go beyond the periodic table that is beyond fusing iron. It's periodic table times 1,000 maybe. And beyond, again, you keep going with it, right? But you've got to have the know-how and capability to do it, okay? That is a big, big thing. You need numbers. When your numbers start dwindling, forget it. You'll go extinct. No ifs, no buts, no maybes. You will go extinct. That's just the way it is. And you won't have enough of you, even with robots. This gets confusing. I wouldn't rely on them. But again, don't take my word for it. You probably don't need to. You'll learn your own way. And you start to go beyond in the periodics, yes, by doing this lovely, weird and wonderful stuff. When you begin to endeavourably pop that star that you've been working on, you then need to be able to collect all of that information that comes out, and not one scrap of it must leave. So you then begin to take a particular star, you begin to set it up. How many stars do you need? It doesn't matter. You are able to take what is in this one, and aim it towards this one while filling this one up. You want to utilize the heat of other stars and begin to create this one to give it the most force that you possibly can. When this is all done, X, Y, Z, it's on a previous video. I don't need to get in any further than that. Once this pops,
Yeah.
Afterwards, you move these out the way. You'll move them closer to begin with. Once this is moved out the way, you could use 4, you could use 6, you could use 10. It's up to you. Well, where's your limit? How many people have you got? People plus machine. Machine is not. It's meh. It's not perfect. Now, let's say if you had a way of netting all of this, you need to collect every piece of this information, because if it gets into one of these, it has X amount of time to learn how to defuse that, and it will work it out. Then that becomes a failure. That's why you must always start off small first, because you're going to need to learn how to capture this stuff that comes out, and it can't go on any other planet. It can't go into any other star. Stars will spread your secrets quicker than anything else. Then it gets into these. Then that becomes a waste of time. So that's why it's best not to jump in and start with a massive amounts of stars. You've got the capability to move them, but you've got to be wise. The more you move and the more pops out of this one, and some of it escapes, you need double the amount next time, quadruple, because the elements that you make from there, when it comes to the universe coming down to the final black hole, the last supermassive black holes and the stars it begins to pull the fabric in. Again, you want to think of it as a tea towel. The emptiness in space, think of it as a tea towel. And the stars sit on this fabric, liquid, whatever you want to call it. And as that black hole begins to pull it all in, there's no escape. No escape whatsoever. And then it's combined the whole, what we would call the observable universe. If you're from a distance, now is that a small amount if it gobbles up everything until there is on its understanding that there's nothing else beyond that ratio. It's taken everything that it knows possible and it's pulled it all in. You're going to go in there too. The instability will start to happen because it's got a lot of information that it didn't learn. So it's going to start to learn this stuff as you're in there. By that time, there'll be an instability. You can also trigger this instability. I'm pretty sure other life forms will do this. And off it goes again, and you're spat out. Your existence is spat out, and then the whole process then begins to happen again. And then how far that explosion goes is that determines on your boundaries. Then the stars begin to form again, and off we go again. Is it exactly the same? Well, it learnt you up to this layer. So, naturally, in the natural universe, naturally, stars will only ever be able to keep, in this ratio, will only ever be able to create 6 on that. You took it up to 12, but whilst you were in there, it took you back to 10. It's already learned. The next time, you're going to need to take it further and further and further, because there's new information in. It doesn't make any sense to bulk this up as much as possible in the beginning. That doesn't make any sense. And again, it's a hell of a task, because how do you know you did it successfully or not? Risky. But again, it's multiple life forms will be doing this, and some more advanced and some make it look more easier than others. Upcoming and different stuff like that. Did you know there's also a new war? Well, you go to battle in this particular way rather than one another. It doesn't happen, but again, let's just say some individuals that all love war get into that and want to dominate all other life forms. The others could sprinkle what you've got into a black hole and tell it information so that it devours you in the next cycle. Interesting, isn't it? It all changes. Nice. And there again, who am I to say what other life forms have already got their contingency plans in that? It's not my place to say, but clever. Now, why would the universe want to make life forms?
To work on this.
Interesting, isn't it? If it's only capable of going up to here, how far could you take it?
Further.
So it's created you for a purpose. And this is currently speaking to life forms that have gone a long time without knowing what's going on. Where are we heading? You can take this universe much further, right? Do you see why your highly valued. You can take it much more further than it. How far can you take it? Let's say if you took it up to 12 and gave that to black holes, you can create some a lot more new substances to cook up.
Yeah.
Especially when you put this information into the star in the beginning, the first stars, and you sort of sprinkle. It's okay that they know this. Nothing else does. We all agree. Yeah, we agree. All right, let's give it this and see whether we can what the stars will do with that. Come on, we want to play God. Let's go. Let's play it. What happens if you give it the universe on the last cycle and the cycle before and the cycle after? You've been beyond 4, let's say. And you've seen that it only gets up to this buffer range. Yeah, maybe sometimes it's a little bit more, sometimes a little bit less, but by and large, it usually hits this ratio. You've got stuff that goes way beyond this.
Yeah.
Now, you're going to exist with all of this stuff.
Yeah.
Right in the beginning. When you're in this mode, the gases are there and it's all beginning to come together again. Those first stars, and you sprinkle with stuff from here.
Yeah.
How much more further can the universe go with that? And what's the difference?
Yeah.
Now you understand your place. Why the universe works so tirelessly to give you a piece of itself. It isn't to play Monopoly. Well, you can. That's up to you, but that's not what it's looking for. None of it is. And again, it will gift you further. But you've got to do a little bit of work for it. Eternal life, you say? You already know that it's there. It's already granted it to many. Are you next? Never mind all of that. Life forms, interbreeding and different stuff like that. Well, not interbreeding, that's the wrong word. Crossbreeding, if compatible. You have a life forms. This is another side of it. It's beautiful, by the way. You've got life forms from here to here, and then you've got a bunch of beautiful life forms over here, and other beautiful life forms over here. But yet there's perhaps some compatibility with one another. Naturally, although it is natural because it created you naturally. A little bit of help, quite a bit of help. What happens when you mix these two together?
You create something more.
Something new.
Yeah.
And something new.
Yeah.
And something new.
Yeah.
And you could keep on going.
Yeah.
And going and going. And now how does that help you? What puzzle pieces lie? Any that have made it this far understand that there are puzzle pieces in each. Because by and large, this universe has the upper hand every single time.
Yeah.
And they would understand that. It's not submitting to it. No, it's respect for respect. Each are equally as powerful as one another.
Yeah.
It's reciprocal. Give, receive. Receive, give. Receive, give, receive. Play God or be it.
Yeah.
And the universe favors all. But compared to primitive, lifting up, it's clearly walking with you.
Yeah.
It wants you to go further than you are. By and large, it's a choice. Sure it is. But also it can make a choice on those choices.
Yeah.
So choose wisely.
Yeah.
Just ask yourself a question if you were the universe. Okay, or its favorites.
Yeah.
Would you have favorites? The
Yeah.
ones that move you forward,
Yeah.
would you favor them?
Yeah.
And this will be seen as a gift.
Mm-hmm.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
But I can assure you it doesn't want your money. It could make this if it wanted to. No. It wants this. It doesn't want your lies. It doesn't want your artificial stories.
Mm-hmm.
It wants what it sends. Not your counterfeits. Not your twisted versions.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, isn't that a test?
Yeah.
Very big one, right? You can't bullshit it. It is in you, outside of you, all around you.
Yeah.
And therefore, it doesn't have knowing, it knows.
Mm-hmm.
Give, receive. Give, you will receive.
Mm-hmm.
Honor, it doesn't want you falling down praying toward it.
Mm-hmm.
By and large, it's a nice thing. It's respected. It's understood. But it needs more than that.
Mm-hmm.
Only if you want to. If you want to do it that way, then accept it as that. Then it will go down into an archive. That's it. That's as far as you'll be remembered for it, but not be a part of that remembrance. Not tell your story. The story will be told for you. From here to here, extinction. Lesson. Dinosaurs. From here to here, if you want to say such a thing. From here to here, extinction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Robots, no good. If it wanted these, it would make them. Through you, it has. But again, there's that underlying pit in you. If it wanted a lot of these things, it would already do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All part of the plan. Nothing is ever truly wasted. All of it will go into archives. Archive. Well, how not to? How not to? How not to? Not focused on that. How to?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it is everywhere in multiple places all at once.
Yeah.
Do you ever think that one lesson could be being taught to multiple life forms at once? That would be interesting, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm. And someone will pick it up. And someone might not.
Even the nocturnals. Multiple places at once. One lesson being taught to multiple life forms. You ever wonder that? That's fucking interesting, isn't it? You boggle your head around that in the exact same now moment.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what truly being everywhere that matters is all about?
Yeah.
That's interesting, isn't it? That's a fucking power, that, isn't it?
It is.
That's how you think about the universe. Would you want to be in it or a part of it? Question.
What's the difference in it or a part of it?
Which part would you like to be at? An archive, an old story, or with it?
Oh, I see.
Beautiful, beautiful. Now, did I cover everything I wanted to cover? I think so. I think I hit a lot in multiple different areas there. And depending on where your journey is on this, there's always something to learn. Yeah?
Yeah.
Multiple cycles. When you reach fourth cycle, interesting stuff. Do you see how you could never ever reach a platform that is stopped? Life forms, this, the mixing, the changing, the this, the that, the tweaking, the teaching.
By your
the learning others,
existence, it's
teach others and help others and beautiful, isn't it? And what a teaching that then goes on to teach, that then goes through others that will teach and teach, and it ripples out. And it keeps going. It bounces from one to the other, to the other, to the other, to the other. It keeps going, echoing. Do you ever think about that? It's like a never-ending ripple. Drop a stone in and whoosh, but it keeps going. Keeps bouncing around, and the ones that hold the message go on to teach more, teach more, teach more, teach more, teach more. All of it, one stone drop. Then if you ask yourself, do you think the universe actually hears all of that? Like it bouncing from one to the other, to the other, and then back, and then they take what they've learned and they teach to something else to teach. Then they go on to teach something else and something else and something else. It keeps on going. It keeps rippling through the fabric. Wow, that is true power, isn't it? That is authentic. Would you say that's authentic power? By and large, illusion, but again, still. There we are. I think I'm going to wind this one down here. I could talk more, but little bits at a time I think work better, don't they? They're a bit more easy to digest. I think I was touching upon this back in Griffin Court, which I probably have on some videos elsewhere. Yeah, I was beginning to touch upon that, and then, my word, didn't we get distracted?
Yeah, we did.
These distractions shall not do. No, no way. Right. Is this where we want to be? What we want to cover? I think it was a little bit more plainer than yesterday. Just sort of touching in on that. Yes. A ruler, yes. Gas, yes. Cycle from one makes the other. The others. In the beginning, these ones rush ahead. And no end in sight. Then these ones begin to convert. This one then begins to appear. These ones then need that amount of time to start defusing. The clusters orbit around them because they're like spies in a way, sort of sitting there collecting the information from the stars to be able to, what is this? I told you that these are highly valued. You understand that, yes? High valued. The process, the principle. Mwah! Beautiful. Take all of this information and you are not out of this. You are in it and do it, but don't know why you do it. But you do, but you don't. But you kind of, now was it people that created this? Or is this the universe that created this through you? The power of it. Perhaps you are not aware of it. Why do we do this? What is this purpose? These then grab the information and then they begin to take off. They begin to bring everything down. Toward them, actually. Not down. Down is up, down. There's no such a thing. Brings everything toward it. These begin to share, merge, and expand, until there's the final one. They gobble up the last of that. Everything in. Again. Repeat. So, here we go again. Then there's neither or neither. This is the neutral line. Gets going. and as it spits you out and you whirl all out, you get that gas moving. Nice, lightning, static. Einstein, fucking hell did you get that information from? You clever person. He's been correct about a lot of stuff so far.
Yeah.
Yes. Why do you think that is? No idea? Well, yeah, if it's truly comes from him, then whew, that is very interesting. Off we go again. Egg-shaped. Again, advanced. Moving. The cycle gets going. Which pivot or where are we at? This begins. Then this happens again. These ones then begin to take over the process again, and the same dip, winds down. Bigger, sharing information, and off it goes again. And again, if you drop in some more, how far can you take that? Again, I think the universe would be very happy with that.
Yeah.
Taking it further. Now we start to understand where you come into it. Life forms as a whole. Nice, isn't it? And we begin to mix more life forms, and more life forms means more capability of doing even more stuff. And do you know the one question I gotta ask? Which is not a question, but do you ever think that the universe overall, this particular gas, wouldn't it be weird if you found more? Could make this into more.
Mm-hmm.
That would be interesting, wouldn't it? Where did it all come from? This might get you thinking, is there something beyond this? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But what? Learn here, level up somewhere else, somewhere. Where does it stop? Ooh. Only when you do. Unlocking. The rewards become more and more. It is a very cautious system.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe on a later video we'll dive into that, but right now, not yet. I think that it would cause too much fear. I think it would begin to cause a lot of anxiety because it's outside of what you understand. And then, even then, you'd need to prove it, right? But the problem is with that, it is being proved because you'll begin to sort of glimpse it. And I don't know whether you're ready to glimpse it just yet. Some are, some are not. There is more. This is mere welcome.
Yeah.
Oof, only the right sort will do, though. Unfortunately, that's the way it is, so... Little bit at a time. I think that's too many steps ahead for you to understand it yet, maybe. I don't know, maybe I will, maybe I won't. Oof. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. That's the issue.
Yeah.
Is it worth it? Anyway, let's leave this one here. I think not right now.